So he definitely did surprise a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people lost money on that, certainly. So hello, HTV boxing fans. It is fight week. WBC lightweight champion Devin the Dream Haney faces unified IBF, WBO, WBA lightweight champion George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. for the undisputed, and yes, undisputed lightweight championship this Saturday at the Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. Today, we will spend a little bit more time than usual discussing the strength, weaknesses of both fighters, the strategies they should be going in with, and of course, our prediction. I'll also be doing something a little different today. I will not be doing this pre-fight analysis alone. I will be doing it with a guest who will be contributing to this pre-fight analysis and prediction today. Let me go ahead and introduce you to him. His name is Kojo. He's a boxing enthusiast who knows a lot about the sport very well, and also has a YouTube page called Real Ghana Boxing. Check it out. He'll be helping me dissect and resect this important bout. This is Talking Boxing. Before we go on, please don't forget to leave your prediction below in the comment section. Like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe and follow us so that we can keep bringing this to you. And all your feedbacks will be appreciated. So, I'm usually excited about fight weekends, but I have been particularly super excited about this one since the announcement. This bout is big, and it's big for several historical reasons, which I'll be mentioning later. But first, Kojo, when you first heard about this matchup, what did you think?
When I first heard about it, I knew it's like a tall mountain for Devin Haney. I'm like, the odds are stacked against him greatly. Kambosos has played the cards to where he has everything in his favor: home field advantage, home ring advantage. Rematch clause. And then on top of that, Haney's coach can't make it, so his dad is. So it's like it's an uphill battle, but it's one of those kind of battles that I know Haney will overcome because he's a born winner. The guy knows how to win, even though the odds are stacked against him. So it makes for a great fight, man, because of the obstacle in Haney's way.
I'm with you with all that. Now let me tell our viewers why this is historical. Now, the winner of this bout will be the first undisputed champion at 135 pounds with the modern 5-belt era. Not only that, the winner of this fight will also produce the first undisputed lightweight champion since Pernell Whitaker did it in the early 90s. And that's not it. The winner will be the 8th boxer to be undisputed in the 4-belt era in any division. And Kojo, do you see this as big as I make it sound?
Oh, definitely, man. This is the undisputed era. Jermell Charlo just became undisputed. Canelo before him, and to be undisputed in a highly competitive division makes it even so much greater. You have the likes of Lomachenko, which hopefully he comes back. You still have Ted Davis. You have Teofimo could be still in 135. All this talent. Richard Comey. You have our brother. Is still there. Mm-hmm. That division is stacked, man, and this becoming undisputed, and if whoever wins, if they're able to defend undisputed, it makes it like one of the best divisions in boxing, man.
Definitely. Like you said, it's a packed division, so to become undisputed there, it's really a big deal. And then with all the historical things I just mentioned, definitely is a big deal, and it should be an exciting weekend. Now, I want us to talk about the boxers and how they got here. Now, Kambosos surprisingly won a 12-round split decision against Teofimo Lopez last November. And then I say surprisingly, not because he was not expected to win, or I didn't think he would win, but after 12 rounds, more like he was not expected to dominate Teofimo like he did, which eventually won him the fight. Kojo, what was your take on that fight, and were you equally surprised Kambosos won that fight?
Oh man, I didn't pick him to win. It was almost like the Teofimo side was totally. The dad was like misinforming his son. They were all misinformed. They underestimated Kambosos. First round. I mean, look at the strategy they had when they came out first round. Teofimo was going in there, looking like an amateur fighter, going there, expending all his energy to try to knock Kambosos out. And look what happened, man. He failed. They looked like they had no plan B. So then, Kambosos just went into his mode and was more consistent throughout the fight. Teofimo, he got knocked down in the second round, and then he was able to catch Kambosos later. Yep. But by that time, Kambosos was too far ahead on the card. So,
but you certainly didn't pick Kambosos to win. Neither did I, right?
No, man, not even a little bit.
So he definitely did surprise a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people lost money on that, certainly. So that is why, I mean, that's how he got here, and that's why I say he surprisingly won. He dominated Teofimo too much, more than expected. So by what we both saw and what you are saying about Kambosos, we think that Kambosos deserves to be here, right? Because he did something big that we were not expecting.
Definitely, he's worthy of this. I mean, he's got the belts, man. He beat the man that had three of the belts, man. They call Devin Haney email champion.
I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
But yes, okay. Definitely. I mean, you could bring it up. Let's talk about him. I mean, he won the belt on his resume. That's what he has under his belt, which he defended it a week after the Kambosos fight with Teofimo. But then he fought Jojo Diaz in the defense and won it at SWAL in a 12-round decision. However, Haney has been labeled the email champion because, of course, he never originally won the title. It was vacated by Lomachenko. And if you are interested in how this whole thing came about, Lomachenko vacating the champion, look up the link here. I have a detailed explanation of the WBC champion versus the franchise champion. But Lomachenko vacated it, and then Haney essentially inherited it. So that's why they call him the email champion. But Kojo, he's a 27-0 and has won other titles on his climb to where he is now. Do you think he deserves a shot at the Undisputed with that label?
Man, I don't agree with the label, man. Because Lomachenko is the one who vacated because the WBC under the heat, they created, what did they call? They created the
franchise champion.
The franchise champion. They created this situation. So, so Haney was in line to fight Lomachenko, and he couldn't. They didn't give him the fight. So, but Haney has proven to be, a technical fighter, man. That's hard to deal with in the ring, man. Even when you look at the Linares fight, Linares is a tough competitor, but he's not, elite. But Haney still took a major shot, man, and it wobbled him. He took a major shot, but he came back and he dominated that fight. This is the same guy that knocked down Lomachenko, Linares. So it's not like he was in there with a an average fighter. The guy is good. So
it wasn't a fluke, and no, he doesn't deserve. I mean, like you said, I mean, if the administrators and then the ruling bodies created that, and who knows, he would have fought for it eventually if Lomachenko had not vacated it. So I don't think he needs to be labeled that. I agree with you there. I think he's earned where he needs to be. Let's talk about their attributes in terms of strengths and weaknesses. With Haney, I have a few things that I think they are his strength, and you can disagree or agree with me or extrapolate on what I think. Looking at some of his fights I have seen, I think he has excellent long range jabs, which should come to his advantage with this. I also feel like he got great reflexes, at least compared to Kambosos, and then his speed. I think when compared to Kambosos, definitely is higher. And I feel like he's a more skillful fighter compared to Kambosos. These are what I think are the strengths of Haney. I don't know what you think about that.
Oh, for the most part, I agree. That the slickness of Haney is at the advantage of the defense. His defensive awareness is top of the line. When you can't hit someone, it's like the game is like a different game in there. It's like it's almost going to come to a point where he's chasing. Kambosos is chasing Haney, but then while he's chasing, he's getting hit with things he don't see certain shots. And that's the great thing about defensive fighters. They have the opponent worried about chasing him down, but then next thing he's getting hit. When he's least expected. So the defensive aspect is the greatest attribute for Haney in this fight.
So that I thought, actually, now that you bring it up, I actually thought it was. I mean, you can disagree because I kind of disagree with you. I thought his defense can be suspect a little bit because I feel sometimes his movements when it comes to defense is not in sync. And what I mean by that is that, for example, he may move his head, but then the feet remain planted. And if you watch some of his fight, this particular incident I'm talking about was evident in his fight with Linares. He was moving his head a few times, but then his feet did not move, and he was clipped. I remember vaguely one of them. I mean, I don't know. So you think that is actually a strength for him?
Haney is going through a personal battle, man. He's let me just elaborate on that real quick. That he's being labeled as a born, because all defensive fighters are labeled as born, and instead of not worrying about the crowd, he's going in there being more offensive when he doesn't really need to, or he's taking more risks. And I believe what you're explaining is when he's more offensive than he needs to be, rather than moving and hitting and not getting hit. And he may be taking shots, man, unnecessary shots. But I mean, I know what you're talking about. I mean,
so you're saying that like he doesn't move so much, and that's what a defensive fighter does. But I'm expecting him to move a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, definitely. I just think the guy's kind of growing. He's still young, so he's growing into his style. And maybe he's gonna be more offensive in this matchup. But from what I've observed throughout the years watching Haney, he's a defensive, slick boxer. And the time that he gets caught is when he's being too offensive. Actually trying to prove a point, listening to the crowd. Listening to having things in the back of his mind, thinking he needs to get a knockout or have a big, some kind of a big shot he needs to land. But those he just needs to worry about winning. So I mean, but yeah, I think he's a very, very top one of the best defensive fighters in boxing, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. I mean, can you think of any weakness of his?
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely he doesn't have power. He doesn't have power. And that's one of the main things, it is, because he even asked after the Linares fight. He asked Linares, man, what do you think of my power? And that's kind of
he actually did that.
Yeah, he actually he's asking, what do you think? I mean, man, why are you worried about that? So it's like,
so
I think
kind of aware that he needs to actually improve on that.
Definitely, man.
So lack
other
of
than that, though, man, you know what? He doesn't go to the body enough, man. That's one thing. If you don't, it's like when you headhunting so much, a lot of times you're never gonna find that shot, So why not invest in body attack? Break down your opponent over rounds. Then it'll be easier to get him out of there. But that's one thing he doesn't do enough for me. He has Mike McCullum, the body snatcher, in his corner, and I'm like, if you have this guy in your corner, man, he should be teaching you a lot of different, shots, that you could throw to the body, So it's the lack of power and the lack of consistent body attack is weakness.
Got it. Let's talk about Kambosos. I think on his strength, he comes with a tough mindset, and I'll extrapolate a little bit on that. I also think that he got an excellent short range jabs compared to Haney, who has the long one. But one thing that I think Kambosos brings is he's very versatile. So he's able to make adjustments easily depending on who he's fighting. And then sometimes he can put together some powerful combinations, something that I feel like Haney lacks. Regarding his tough mindset, where I'm going with that is that the fact that I mean, most of his belts that he has won or how he got here, he did it on the road. And I mean, fighting away from home and then doing that well, you really got to be tough in doing that. And he fought some of the best, including Teofimos on his last one. But I think that what will probably win him the day, if he does win, which we'll talk about later in our prediction, is going to be his versatility. I think that will really help him. I don't know what you think about what I think they are his strengths, and if you have anything to add.
Well, the thing I know is about Kambosos, man, is he has a very quick overhand right, very quick shot. That's the one he caught Teofimo Lopez with, and he's not a person you really want to exchange with, so I definitely think he has a power advantage, and it's definitely, he has a surprising overhand that he throws is also something that you don't see. I've seen him hit a lot of guys with that. So, if other than that, bro, I don't really see how he can. I don't really see too much going on with Kambosos other than that, man. The guy gets hit a lot, it was evident in the last fight, but yeah, I think he has sneaky power, and I think he's going to be trying to land some of those shots, man, often with Haney. So
I agree with you. That is something again. Those power shots. If he's able to bring those, he may hurt Haney a little bit. But again, if what you're saying is truth, which is I agree with you, is Haney's defense. Haney should be able to at least dodge them, or that's what his fans will hope for. Now, let's talk about strategies since after talking about their strengths and weaknesses. Or do you see any weakness? I don't think we spoke about Kambosos' weakness. Any weakness on his part? Going in.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he doesn't have good defense. That's one of the main things, and well, other than that, I can't really. I mean, it may be a lack of. Well, he throws good combinations. I have to give him. He's a really good variety of combinations. He does throw some good shots there. But as far as weakness, his defense is poor, and I think that's the main one I can think of at the moment, and that's really bad. When if you can give it, but you taking, you're gonna be in a world of problems, man. If you don't have defense, you just a punching bag. I think the guy is very easy to hit, very very easy to hit. So yeah,
I agree with you that his defense can also be suspect. Hopefully, Haney takes advantage of that. Let's talk a little bit about strategies. Then we go to the prediction, and then we will end this. Both fighters, I consider them are technical, and I wouldn't expect them to start the fight with guns blazing. So it will probably be more of a chess fight kind of night. I, however, expect both fighters to come in with their best because they both have question marks over them. Haney, as we said earlier, is called the email champion because of the whole WBC saga. Kambosos, on the other hand, some fans thought that he beating Teofimos was also a fluke. So he has something to prove that it wasn't a fluke. So both fighters have a reason to come in with the right mindset and put up their best. I don't know what you think they should. The strategy should be for them coming in, but I expect us to be for like how do I say it? A technical, slow night instead of the fiery, explosive night.
Oh yeah, if it's a technical night, it's definitely an advantage of Haney, man. That's his kind of fight. Kambosos thinks that he has the home advantage that, Haney will have to knock him out to get a victory. That's what Kambosos is going into the fight thinking. But Kambosos' strategy wouldn't. He needs to hurt Haney. He needs to hurt him because Haney is a growing, evolving fighter at this point in his career. I mean, the guy is still young. He's younger, a little younger than Kambosos, and he may bring something that we at least expect. He may have been working on his power. He may have been working on more body punches, and I just think he, as far as skill wise, technical wise, he's on another level. Kambosos, he fought Teofimo, a dumb Teofimo, I should say, because I know Teofimo is better. I know he's better than that, man. The guy, he's so so let's see, man, how he looks against one of the slickest fighters in the game, man. If it ain't Shakur Stevenson, this guy, one of the slickest boxers in the game, man. And if you can outpoint this guy, then you have deserved, all the accolades. But I don't think he can outpoint Devin Haney. Devin Haney is too technical. He's too slick. So it'll be a hard one.
Let's go to the prediction and bring this to a close. Personally, I think this is going to be a close and competitive fight. I don't know how you see it. Haney is fighting away from home without his father. So I think that may have more of a mental effect on him than we think and than he thinks, because his team feel like he's going to be fine. But I feel like that will definitely have an effect on him. Now, I think Kambosos is coming to this as a warrior. As I explained earlier, I give him that warrior title because he has essentially been on the road and been winning all these bouts and coming in with all these titles. And so coming home is more of essentially a homecoming thing for him. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw. I however, think there are two ways both could win the fight. Haney, I feel like, we need to drop Kambosos. He will need to knock him down in order for him to win this fight. If he doesn't, and the fight goes to the rounds, Kambosos is going to win for obvious reasons, home advantage, the home judges. So I'm hoping that, those are my two scenarios. I have the draw as the main prediction, but I think that the only way both fighters win with Haney is that he knocks down Kambosos, or if he goes the round, Kambosos win on points. I don't know what you think and what your prediction is.
Oh, not too far off. But I think they say they have neutral judges, so let's see. Once the judge gets to there, who knows how he's getting treated. He may be getting a nice little gift bag, so who knows, man? But,
home turf, man. It's a sold out stadium.
Hey, but as far as who I think will win, I mean, I definitely got Haney winning. I think it's gonna be like 8-4. I think I don't think Kambosos is gonna be 8-4. He's gonna get a unanimous decision on foreign territory, because
you think Haney's gonna get a UD on foreign territory?
He's gonna get as long as it's a unanimous, as long as it's 8-4, he'll get the decision. If it's close, if it's a close fight, he's not gonna win a close fight. We know that. This is high. But if he's clearly blowing him out, because that's what I think is gonna happen, man. I think he's gonna break him down he's gonna have to break him down, because he doesn't have the power to drop.
So if you're right. I now that you bring up the power thing, then in that case, that dropping him may be difficult. But you made a point that he needs to dominate. But and even with the domination, he has to do it in a certain way, because he probably needs to be more technical, take it slower and easy in the beginning rounds, and then probably go crazy towards the end. If Kambosos end up doing that, he may sway over the judges with the home crowd towards the end. So I think Haney may have to preserve his energy towards the end, because I feel like if they go, that's where the decision will be made.
Yeah. He has to strategize perfect. It has to be perfect, man. And he, like I said, he breaks him down early. If he starts with the early body attack, but he still got to worry about that overhand sneaky right. If he can avoid, because Haney's he's going to be able to avoid with his defense. He'll be able to avoid those shots. And if he's able to do that, and he's able to break them down periodically over the 12 rounds, he could just wear him out. And that's what I think he's gonna do. That's the only thing he can do because he doesn't have the power to drop Kambosos, man. Now, hey, when you a sneaky counter, hey, you never know. You never know. Sometimes if it's something you don't see, he could do some magic. He may have some knockout magic, but we'll
um,
see, man.
well, HTV fans, as you can tell, even though we are making the predictions, we are unlike some of the other fights that we have seen there. I don't know about Kojo, but I am not very confident of this, and that is why a draw is up there. I feel like it can go both ways. I don't know if you heard it in Kojo's voice too. Kojo is very confident. Now, we are, of course, we have our favorites that we want to win, but we look at the boxing and all the other aspect that surrounds it. And that is why it's such a tough decision to predict. But I feel like a draw is more likely if Haney brings something powerful or something explosive towards the end. If Kambosos, I feel like dominates towards the end, he's going to win hands down. Any last minute words, Kojo, before we close?
Man, last minute word. Haney's without his dad. But I think this is a test, man, for him, and I think he'll pass it because it's either it's the era of undisputed, man. His legacy, man. Like, hey, he has to fight a rematch. He has to win. If he doesn't want to fight a rematch, he has to make the fight so bad for Kambosos that he does not want to see that man again, man. And I think he's gonna. I think when you look at certain fights, man, in history, there's fights like that, man, where guys like, man, I just don't want to fight that guy no more, man. It's too much of a headache. And I think this is going to be the case this weekend, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, and please, HTV fans, don't forget to put your prediction below. Hopefully, it's not as difficult for you as it is for me. Kojo is very confident about Haney winning on the road. Please also show some appreciation if you like this video. Share, subscribe, and follow us so that we keep bringing this to you. This is Talking Boxing.